How's it going, everyone? Andy here. I'm the maker at Lone Rider Industrial Designer, and I'm currently working on the quick release system for the moto bags. So I'm really keen to get some feedback from you guys. I've listened to you before. We've done 2 rounds of feedback, and it's just really invaluable. You guys have heaps of good ideas. So I wanted to quickly go over this design, show you what it's all about, show you where we're at, and hopefully you can see some gotchas, maybe see some issues that I haven't thought about. I'm quite deep in it, and sometimes when you're so deep in the design that you actually miss some pretty obvious issues. So yeah, I'll get into it, show you what's going on. This is the green. Actually, the green part here is a scan of a motorcycle. You can see the racks here. We've got a Touratech box. This is actually my motorcycle. What we do is we scan it in 3D, and then we put it into the computer program, and we can build the products around it. But I'll come back to this in a second. I was just testing if it would fit into the TT box. So what we've got here is, this is the flat setup, and this funny awkward layout is especially for the GS, but they obviously can be moved to any one of these. It's basically made out of 3 components. We've got the hooks at the bottom. We've got these 2 sliders here which stop and auto locate the bag onto the rack, and then we've got the actual lock system at the top. Let's start with the hook. So the hook is made out of 2 parts. We've got aluminium here. This will be made out of extrusion aluminium, so we just make a tool in the shape of this blue area, and it pushes and squirts out a big long profile, and then it's cut into smaller parts, and then yeah, that's basically it. It's jack a couple of holes in the back. Pretty good, pretty simple, pretty sturdy, and we can control the material as well quite well. And then it's got like a nylon insert, because I just hate the sound of metal on metal when you're riding. This is it just ruins the flow, and takes your concentration away from things that you should be concentrating on the road, not annoying sounds. And it's also, we can actually use this form to play with it. We can actually make it clip in there. We can make it sit really snug. Injection molded part. This will be made from nylon. Nylon's really durable. It's like a chopping board or something. You know, it'll last forever. And if it does not last, then we can quickly swap it out. Yeah, we can just swap this part out, send replacement parts, and then it's done. Same with this part. This will be injection molded. Its tools are quite expensive, actually extremely expensive, but the actual part cost is relatively okay. So again, we can make some parts and replace them easily if they do get broken. So last time we got some feedback from a user, a guy, and he said, oh, so I actually had this halved here, so it was basically just without this back. That wasn't mirrored like this, it was just one end, and he recommended that we make both ends, so if this part wears out on these sides, we can just swap them around and use the new parts. That's the kind of feedback we've gotten from you, which is awesome. So those are just to auto locate the bag onto the rack. Nothing big there, but adjustable. We can adjust this all over the place. Awesome, which is really good. And then coming to one of the most important parts, this is the rack. I've actually 3D printed this stuff already. I've put it into 3D printer, so I can show you a little video of this actually working in the real world, but I'll just go through the locking system now on the computer with you. So it's basically the same hooks as the ones at the bottom. There's a few additions to make it more customized, but basically the same piece, so only one tool, which is really cool. It'll bring down the manufacturing costs quite a lot, but this is a different form. This is a hook. So but if we look from the left here on the side, let's look on directly so you see, basically the pipe goes in here. There's a pipe that sits here, and I could probably maybe find a pipe. Yeah, there's a pipe that fits inside. When the pipe actually moves up, it will slide along this edge, and when it hits this will automatically push up, and then there's a spring on the back. It'll push back down, and there's the spring there. It'll push back down and close it. So basically you don't need to hold it open and add it to the rack. All you do is put it on the rack. It'll open, it'll clip in place. It won't lock, but it'll be firm. We don't want it to lock. We want it to pop off. And if you do want it to lock, all you have to do is push down. Okay, obviously the key's not going to be here. The key's going to be on your keychain. Basically, we just push this knob down, and then it locks in place, which is really cool. So if I give you a quick view, I mean, some of you guys like the technical views, or I do especially. If you look through here, we've got the back plate, we've got this part here is the actual latch part, we've got the rubber cap which will stop dirt getting in from the top, water, or just prevent it. At least it will always need to be cleaned. Always locks do, it gets quite dusty. And then we've got the spring which pushes the lock back in place, so it holds it in this position. If you notice here, there's the other part which stops it, so that's the limit on one side is there, it's there, the limit's there, and this part here is the limit on the top. So if you push it as far as possible, you see it stops there, and also opens up the whole hook area, so you can slide it onto your racks. How it actually works, let's go back to this other view. I just want to go into detail here a little bit. Basically, I'll cut this in half, and then I'll bring it in. So basically, there's a pipe, a pin that goes through everything. Let's go about there, section view. So basically, there's a pipe that goes through everything. If I open that up, it sits in the two hooks, and it's pinned in place, so I can't move. And then the lock goes through the center point. So the lock is basically the lock when it's open. This part here is not here, it's pushed up like here. This is, I just made this so it's open and closed for reference for the model. So if it's open and this is not here, the lock is unlocked, it can open no problem. It can open and close. But if it is in locked position, so this part is pushed down and this is pushed down, then it can only get to this point and this point, and it won't open, so it's actually locked in place. That's how it locks, that's how it stays in place. I like the design because, well, I like the design because there's no pressure on the lock. This area, there's no pressure on it, so basically if there is an incident where there's pressure put onto the bag, like a fall or something, all the pressure goes onto the actual hooks here, not onto the lock. We will make it replaceable though. I want to make it replaceable so we can send out new parts and replace it, because there's always going to be a fall off, people coming off the bikes, unfortunately. So we want to be able to replace. Actually, I've made it in a way where we can just send the whole part through. So we'll probably send this whole part through as a replacement part. On the back there's a kit. This is just to align everything, because what I found in testing, that if this this hook is a little bit different to this hook and this other hook, then it doesn't actually fit very well. So I've just made a stabilizer on the back, and this also spreads out the connection point to the rack, to the back here. So this spreads the load, and you can actually get a tighter fit. Same with the hooks on the back, we've done that as well. So that's basically it. That's really simple, reasonably easy to manufacture, not too many parts. I think there's about 20 parts that I have to look after in order. The lock, we've already found the lock supplier that can actually really good, I'll show you in a second. That can make a lock that one key for two locks, so one key for this lock and one key for left lock and one key for right bag. Yeah, so that's the offset kit. This is the last thing I can go over. Basically, it's some racks like the GS here has an offset. We're going to supply this for those guys that need that. Same concept, easy peasy. Yeah, and here I've been testing. I've been trying to make sure that it actually fits with this Duratec tool case that a lot of guys have. It's a good piece of kit, and yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, so leave a comment down below if you see anything. There could be an issue. I really enjoy communicating with you guys and getting feedback. There's quite a few smart guys out there, so it always helps to involve the community. You guys have got a lot of experience, years and years of experience. So yeah, give us a shout out, drop a comment below. We are going to wait till we get feedback from you guys, and then I'm going to actually make these parts. We're going to wrap and manufacture them, so just mill them out of solid stainless steel or aluminium. It's quite expensive, but then we can get some working prototypes going and testing them in the real world. And then now I'll just quickly shoot over to a live video for another video of the actual 3D printed version. Back in a moment. So here we've got the 3D printed version of what you just saw on the computer. These are the hooks, and these are the spacers or the locator bars, and then we've got actually the system up the top here, the locking system. Pretty simple. We've got the two parts, and then we've got the actual latch in the middle. This is not spring loaded, but you can make it spring loaded. It will be spring loaded. So how it works is basically, I'll refocus. We've got a rack, just a general flat rack. You'll lift up the bag and put it in the general area of the rack. These two locators should push you into the right position, and then yeah, you can just drop the bag onto the rack, and that's it. This will be spring loaded, so it's closed, and that's it. That's attached. It's attached to the bike, so it's already done. So that's pretty easy. That's how quick it is. It's already secure. It's got the little hold in place, and then to lock it, all you do is push down on the lock at the top, and you're good to go. That's it. Nothing else. I don't know if you can make that simpler. But if you have any ideas, if you see any issues or something that I haven't seen, please do let me know in the comments below. Cheers.